Okay, I'm going to make an example page that has all of the different widget types labeled so that you'll be able to easily reference that page to decide which kind of widget you want to use on a particular page. And I thought I would make a video of me doing it in case you ever needed to reference it for how to do something. So I'm going to create a new page. I'm going to make this page inactive, so you will need to be logged in if you want to see it. I'm going to call this sample page. So you'll see the blank comes up red, and then because you can't create a blank navbar text because this text here is what displays as the slash. So like this would be travelmedford.org/sample page. But as soon as I click off, it will check and it'll tell me navbar text is okay, so I can continue. I'm also gonna hide this from the nav. And then if I want to nest it under a page, I can select a parent page. So for example, if I was going to make a new page for bed and breakfasts and I wanted them to line up underneath places to stay, then I would just make places to stay its parent page. So the parent page decides where in the tree structure the page appears, but we don't need a parent page here. Categories are universal to the page, and they pull in other elements in the widgets. So the listings are pulled in by categories, the articles are pulled in by categories, and eventually the itineraries will also be able to be pulled in by category. So I'm just going to select a few categories that I know will have things tied to them so that when we populate our widgets, we actually have content in there that we can see. Okay, I'm going to close this up. And then before I can actually add any content, I have to save this page. I'm going to press save, and now you'll see I have my add widget button. You guys are not using this page excerpt currently, but we've left it here in case we do decide, for example, probably on the itinerary side, that you want to put in a little excerpt that will display when you're featuring that page or that content somewhere else. So let's start with adding a widget. I'll press yes, and I'll be taken to a new screen. So then these are all of the different widget types that we have available to us. So I'm just going to make one of each widget so that it displays on this page so we have it for a visual reference. So I'm just going to title them what we have them here so that you know when you're making it what it will look like. So this H1 is the main page, basically, title that we'll use on every page. So I'm going to press save here. And then I'm just going to add another widget because I don't need to go back to the builder just yet. So I'm going to do title medium H2. And it's very important that I sometimes forget, and what I will do is I'll go title small H3 is I'll press save and then I'll think, oh, okay, and then I'll go to content, but I don't want to do that because that overwrites the one that I just did. So you actually have to press add another widget. Okay, then this content one is obviously our main use. But what I would suggest that you do is if you're going to be putting in a lot of content, use a couple different content blocks. And this will kind of go over when we do the article training so that we can break up the content, and it'll make it easier for you as an admin also to manage this text. So I'm just going to get some filler text really quickly to plug in here. Oops, just grab this here. Put this in here. We can still add images just as we always have. If you press the image button, it will pop up your image library you can select on here. You can insert this original into the content, or if you have a crop that you want to use, you could also insert that in. So I'm going to insert this in here. It's way too big, so I probably should have cropped it, but if I'm in a hurry, I might just go like this, and we can align it. We can make it to the left, we can make it to the right. We can display it inline, which means the text will wrap around it, or we can break the text, which means the text will go above and below it. We can link it, which I highly recommend that we link all of our photos. That way, if it's an element that excites someone and they click on it, it takes them to something of use. You can make it rounded, you can give it a border, and you can also update the alt text here. Then with this, we still have all the same things. We can bold it, we can underline, we can change the color. So same editor as we've always had. So I'm going to press save, and I'm going to add another widget, and I want to make sure that I have a title for that so that I can say content widget. So I'm just going to save that so that I have it. Add another widget. Yes. Okay, then we have video. So I'm going to make a H2 that's titled video widget. And then I'm going to add another widget for video. So this video is for you guys. I think you've kind of stopped using it, but what the design is that the video is on the one side and the text is on the other. So I'm just going to show you really quickly how you get the YouTube ID, which is what you need anytime you're going to feature a video on the site. And I'm just going to go to my own channel and get a random video. So I'm going to click on this. I'm going to pause it so I don't have to hear it. And then you'll see up here in the title, basically everything after this equal sign to the ampersand is the video. And this was maybe a bad example because let me get one. Usually when you open it, it will just, okay, here you go. Usually it doesn't open as at a second time, so usually it's just everything after the equals. If you see an ampersand, then ignore the ampersand there. So I'm going to copy this and go back in here, and I'll put my video ID in here. I can put some content here, and then button text. And then this is, of course, wherever the button is going to go to. Then I'll press save. Then we have embed code. So this would be, and actually let me do this. Embed code would be anything that you get from somewhere else, like Crowdriff or Issue, or anywhere else where you are just going to put some code in here. You could technically even embed a YouTube video from somewhere in here. So this is any kind of fancy code that you get to put in here. So where am I going to pull this from? I'm going to come back and I'll put something in there. I'm just going to save that there so I know, because it'll be blank, so I'll know to put it in there. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause this video and I'm going to start a second half so that you don't have one big long video. So see video 2 for feature blocks to event roller.